What's going on, people? What's really good? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Folks, I went to the movies over the weekend, and I went to see it in the movie theater. So you know what that means. It's time for another edition of the Movie Pass Movement. You see, I have the AMC Stubs Rewards card. I have the AMC. I'm a benefits man. You know what I'm saying? So $25 a month, basically, I'm paying to see 4 movies a week. Basically, like 20 movies a month, more or less. And it's been real good to a brother. I be getting discounts on popcorn and drinks, rewards so I can get movies for a discount, food for a discount. I be having a ball in there, and I feel real good about it. Now, I'm an older man, so I don't really get down like the nachos and the pizza like I used to, but I still be rocking with the popcorn. And a large soda for a regular size price don't hurt nobody. So I appreciate you, AMC. That's why I'm still going. Anyway, I went to see the Fantastic Four, and I loved it. Spoiler alert. No, anyway, I do want to talk about it. Thanks to AMC, I used my rewards drink. I got to see one movie for free, paid for my girl, and I have the rewards. I saw that movie in 3D, 2 tickets, $5. Gotta get on that AMC, people. I'm telling you, it's a vibe. But let's talk about a different vibe, which was the Fantastic Four. Now, just like Superman, a lot of people was already feeling a type of way, okay? And that was kind of crazy. A lot of people was already having their thoughts, like, yo, this movie's whack. A lot of friends I talked to was like, I wasn't feeling it, because once again, they said, it's too campy, it's too bright, it's too nice, it's too this. First off, I ain't gonna lie to you, I had to look up campy. I was like, what the hell is that? I guess they're trying to say it's too nice. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then second off, so what does that matter? Not every movie in a comic book universe has to be a dark tone. Yes, there is one superhero who majority of the time, his world is dark. We know this already. It is the one and only Batman. But there are some that are also dark. X-Men has its moments, right? Watchmen is pretty bleak, but that doesn't mean a Fantastic Four gotta be dark. It's a story about a family. A family. One man, his best friend, his girl who becomes his wife, and his baby moms, and her brother. What you want? That's a family. They're the first family of Marvel, and they're probably the first family of comics. So I think people need to just ease up when they go to see comic book films. We can't always have a dark film. Sometimes you gotta have a film where it's just cool. And even in dark films, most of the time, they still save the day. So it is what it is. Gotta just tone it down with the, it wasn't dark enough for me. Oh my gosh. Let's tone it down. So, anyway, if you didn't see this movie by now, please go see the movie and then come back and watch this video, because there will be some spoilers in it. I'm not going to go too hard about the movie, but what I am going to do is talk mainly about what I saw and what I liked about it. So long story short, this was basically a film that chronicalized the Fantastic Four, but it did something that Superman did, which I also like. It just brought you up to speed. We didn't go through a whole origin story all over again. We didn't have to sit there and watch them live their regular lives and then turn into superheroes and all that stuff. We didn't have to watch that. What we watched was them already being the superheroes, being the best that they could be in the 60s, pretty much. And what was cool was they were the only superheroes. So it gave vibes of when Iron Man first dropped and Captain America, the first Avenger. It gave those vibes where it was like, this is a world where I'm the only one you could count on. And in this world, it was only the Fantastic Four. There was no other superheroes in their universe. They were the only ones. So it was a story. And remember, this is phase 5. So this is the first, I believe this movie is supposed to start phase 5 if Captain America or Thunderbolts didn't do that. But it told that kind of story. And we just went from there. We didn't just jump into like, let me tell you more about a guy named Reed Richards. No, you already knew who they were. They just gave you a brief summation and said, okay, this is what happened to them. And then they became a hit. And the world idolized them because they were heroes, right? They idolized them because of what they can do. The powers. They were gods in this world, And even though they had their own insecurities because they're human, they still felt like, hey, yo, this is a good look for us. We doing good. We doing all right. Life is good. So that is what I vibed about it with, is that we still stayed kind of true to the comics, but we didn't have to go all over again with the whole origin story. This is the third attempt at a Fantastic Four. 4 different movies. One group got 2 movies, while the Michael B. Jordan group did not. But it was the group with Jessica Alba in them. Then it was the group with Michael B. Jordan in them. And now we're at the group where it's Pedro Pascal in them. And I got to say, the third time is definitely the charm. And it makes me feel good about that. They did pay homage to the older Fantastic Fours and different Easter eggs and stuff. They used the cast of the unreleased 90s film as extras in the beginning of the movie. And I know they threw some nods to the older Fantastic Four too. So that's cool. But again, it just told a simple story. We didn't focus on Doctor Doom yet. We focused on Galactus. They already had their own establishment of a rogues gallery of different villains already that they said their names throughout the whole thing. The Mole Man, who's usually one of their biggest villains, is now one of their biggest allies. And he was played by Paul Walter Hauser, and he did a good job. Welcome to the MCU, my boy. Also, shout out to Natasha Lyonne, who joins Ebon Moss Baccarat as one of those people who played 2 characters in the MCU. She played Birdie in What If, and now she played a lady, forgot the lady's name, but she played the love interest of Ben Grimm in the Fantastic Four, which we'll see if that goes any farther. And Ebon played Ben Grimm, and he played in The Punisher. I forgot his name was Micro or Magna or something. Anyway, but they're 2 people that got to run it back 2 times. You know what I'm saying? So, to see them in that was cool. A lot of the cool parts was that they weren't too cheesy. But I do want to say, when you go see Marvel films or comic book films in general, ooh, Lord in heaven, be prepared for people to laugh too hard at these jokes. I know I saw RDC World. Shout out to RDC World. They did a skit where they were making fun of like how Marvel, especially MCU jokes, don't really hit. They're not really that funny. But there's always somebody in the background like, ha ha ha, yo, when he said that. And you're just like, it's not that funny. So that's how I felt when I was in the theater watching it and people were losing their minds over simple jokes. Like there was one where Johnny Storm, he flew up and he met up with the female Silver Surfer, right? Shalaba, whatever. And he flew up, met her, saw her, said something. She threw him off the surfboard because he grabbed it. He threw him off. He came back. And then it was like a joke later where he's like, oh, your girlfriend dumped you already, huh? No, that wasn't it. It was that he went and actually they went to Galactus's like ship. He ran into the Silver Surfer. He asked her questions about like her surfboard and stuff. And she was like, yeah, I'm out of here. And then the thing was like, dumped you already, huh? And somebody was like, I was like, yo, fam, is Kevin Hart in this movie? Because you should not be laughing this hard. You should not. I ain't see no other I ain't see no comedians. So at the end of the day, you should not have been laughing this hard at this film. However, laugh at what you want to laugh, clap at what you want to clap, even no matter how annoyed I get, because I get annoyed when people clap at the end of movies. Them actors ain't dead. Somebody might be in the crowd, might be a secret person checking you out, like, yo, they really like this movie, but they ain't here. You know they ain't coming through to your city in random Saturday afternoon. Anyway, I'll tell you a funny part to me. Funny part to me was, because it should have been funnier, but I get it, was when they escaped Galactus, right? They had to escape Galactus because Galactus wanted Sue and Reed's child, right? And they had to escape because they was like, nah, you're not taking the kid, B. You wild. Took the kid, went back to Earth, right? They go to Earth, they see the press. The press is like, oh, what happened? Did y'all beat him? They was like, nah, we ain't beat him. But they never admitted that they didn't beat him. They just was like, yo, he wanted our son. And we was like, nah, B. And he was like, so wait, he wanted your son. And if you ain't give him your son, he going to destroy the Earth? Yeah. So everybody was like, what are you talking about? So next thing you know, everybody just started hating him. And it's funny because if anybody was in that situation with their kid, they would have been like, yo, nah, bro, like, I can't do that. That's my kid. Like, I love this kid. You know what I mean? But for some, when it's superheroes, it's always like, you should have did the right thing. So you saying I should have sacrificed my newborn child's life to save yours? Yes. And you were like, all right, fam. And they was like talking trash to him, right? And the reason it was funny to me and it should have been funnier is because there was one black guy that was like, hold up. Are we safe? And I was like, hold on, man. This was the 60s. I know he's being professional. He's on the clock. But I feel like there was some black dude that would have been like, shit. Y'all better get that baby up. I already don't got no equal rights up in here. Y'all better get that baby up. Because, we was still going through it, man. Martin Luther King was still marching. This was some universe where I guess Martin Luther King didn't like have to do all that. Because black people did have some power in this universe, which is fine. But that was my thought at the time. It's just like Captain America when it was like he was fighting everybody. But it was like, yo, I know you saw that dude just get pressed by the white people over there. You ain't gonna go save him? Ain't you Captain America? So I thought that was funny. And the other really, really funny part to me, I know this is a comic accurate thing and they did write by it. But I will still laugh at this because I've seen it in the comics and I'm seeing it now. Ben Grimm wearing disguises will never not be funny. It will never. Because it's just like, my man, especially in this world. Because in the other movies, it was like people didn't really know much about him yet. And then once they started to realize they had powers, they knew more about him. In this film, they were already idolized. They were celebrities. They were the biggest thing in the world, right? So if I'm walking down a dark alley, I can see you. You a bunch of rocks, bro. You a big, hulking bunch of rocks. And you finna to tell me that your trench coat and your top hat is going to disguise you enough that I'm going to go, who that? Who that down there? Hold on. I don't know you, cuz. You better stay back. Until I walk closer and go, oh, the thing, bro. It's the thing. Like, no. In the words of Cat Williams, nigga, do you know that we can see you? That's how I felt. Like, dude, take that trench coat off. You just a bunch of rocks, bro. Just walk around and just be chilling. My man had accurate fit, and I get it. It's a science fiction world. Reed Richards is the smartest man in this universe. But your man had on very well-fitting slacks, sweaters, button-ups. He had a fitted cap. It was just like everything was just like... And I wanted them to play this because they had it in the trailer, but they never played it in the movie where the Thing goes on a matchmaking game. And they didn't show it, but they showed it in the trailer where he was on the matchmaking game and he was sitting there and it was like contestant number 3 and you just see him like mad big on the chair. So I thought they was going to do that. That would have been funny, but it is what it is. But I'm just like, it always makes me laugh. Like, why y'all gave this man clothes? I know somebody gonna hit me in the comments like, well, they actually gave him clothes because like, you don't gotta do all that, man. But yes, Dr. Doom was in this movie, but at the very end, he was in one of the credit scenes. I'm not gonna tell you which one, so you can go watch it. But I will tell you this, Robert Downey Jr. is not in this film whatsoever. He is not playing Doom. It's just a person just with Doom's clothes on. So you only see the backside of them. You don't see their face or nothing. But this movie helps tie it into whatever Avengers Doomsday is going to do. So we have to wait and see that. They also do not explain, if you saw Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers, they also do not explain why the Fantastic Four ship ended up at Earth 616. So we did not get that answer there. We'll have to wait till actual Avengers Doomsday to see what that answer is. I also love the fact that the Earth for where the Fantastic Four reside was called Earth 828. Which was dedicated to their creator, Jack Kirby, who was born in August, was it 1928 or August 28? One or the other. But he was born around that time. So I also thought that was pretty cool because they paid homage to somebody who brought us such characters as the Fantastic Four. So big shout out to them for that. That was dope. Galactus being pretty comic accurate was pretty dope. People were mad about female Silver Surfer, and it was like, who cares? When we had a male we had a male Silver Surfer. It wasn't like the movie was fire anyway. We had to call it fire by default. So who cares? I don't care. She did her job. She played a really decent Silver Surfer. She didn't have much to do anyway, so it's fine. She was cool. She had a cool action scene where she was surfing. That was pretty fire. And then they defeated her, and that was it. Like, she found her way in the movie. She helped out. She did what she was supposed to do. She understood the assignment. Shout out to Julie Garner. Did her thing. Welcome to the MCU, my dear. It's fine. But too many people's getting mad. Oh, I couldn't be her. She's a woman. In the comics, they did this. Remember, all of these comic book movies are loosely based on the comic books. That means they could go wherever they want with it and just take some inspiration from what they've read. So we got to just move on, take it everything just the way it is and move on. But yeah, for what it was worth, the graphics were cool. This was the first movie where Mr. Fantastic looked decent. He didn't look crazy. His moves looked pretty okay with all the stretching and everything. Almost damn near Monkey D. Luffy type efforts. So I was okay with that. Especially the same with Sue Storm. She didn't have to go invisible all the time. She mainly turned more things invisible. So that's why I said this was a version of the Fantastic Four that was already understanding their powers, and they were stronger than we would have anticipated. And that was cool with me. That was cool with me. They also paid homage to the old cartoons of the yesteryear. And if anyone of you are wondering why they had a robot in their apartment, is because that robot was basically in the Fantastic Four cartoons in the 70s when, due to like copyright laws and all of that, they couldn't get the rights to use Johnny Storm in the cartoon. It was a whole weird thing. So they had to make up a robot. So they paid homage to a lot of what Fantastic Four did. But I need y'all all to understand that at the end of the day, no matter how you view this movie, I'm talking from a place of, I'm talking like a war veteran right now. Like, I done seen some stuff, y'all. And I need y'all to understand this. In the time the MCU came and took over the game, I seen them take the Punisher, Daredevil, the Hulk, yeah, more or less, and the Fantastic Four. And technically Deadpool. Well, no, because he came first. But whatever. You get what I'm saying. I got to watch at least these four. The Hulk, the Punisher, Daredevil, and the Fantastic Four be turned into respectful franchises. Because we all know the Hulk in 2003 is not a Hulk we want to see unless he comes in a multiverse movie just as a quick, funny thing. Same goes for Ben Affleck as Daredevil. Same goes for the original Fantastic Four members, whether it be Michael B. Jordan or Chris Evans or Jessica Alba, whoever. We don't want to see them in another movie unless they just come as a quick cameo. But to see the Fantastic Four go through several iterations and several casts to get to a decent movie is fine with me. To see the Punisher be more taken seriously than laughing at how bad his two movies were is fine with me. Seeing Daredevil get turned into a respectful TV series, one of the best TV series on Disney Plus and on Netflix, is fine with me. So we have to, I use that to boost up how I look at this review and how I look at this film. And I say that to say that the vibes on this film is that, honestly, I thought it was pretty valid. I mean, some people didn't really care for it, but then whatever. I thought it was a fun movie. It was fun for what it was. It was one of those MCU films where you didn't have to focus on all of the other crazy stuff we saw in other movies. You didn't have to worry about Loki. You didn't have to worry about Ant-Man and the Wasp. You didn't have to worry about Black Panther 1 or 2. You didn't have to worry about Eternals, for crying out loud. You just had to focus on this group of people and how they protected their universe. And that is all right with me. Simple, effective, sounds like a good movie. But I know a lot of y'all's too comic accurate, and you're like, oh, well, in the issue 525, you know, fam. Guess what them people doing when they writing about issue 525 into this movie? Not a damn thing. So just go and enjoy this movie, y'all. Not every movie is gonna be a hit, but this one at least was solid enough for me. But again, it does have me hyped for what Doomsday is gonna do, and it also sucks because from what I know, this is gonna be the last superhero movie of 2025. We will not have any other superhero movies in general, from what I do know, until Supergirl all the way next year, and then we'll have Avengers Doomsday, which is just like, oh my God. So whatever TV shows that they do, if they can relate to the MCU or the DCU, like Peacemaker will, then we have to just enjoy that for now, because we ain't gonna get nothing for a long time, people. So you should go see Fantastic Four, because you ain't gonna have nothing else to see in terms of superhero loving for another year. Anyway, it's your boy Marv, man. I'm gonna head on out. I got more things to do, more things to review. So I'm gonna holla at y'all. Check out my link tree in the description and check out more of what Marvelat has to offer in terms of content, y'all. But I'll catch y'all next time on another edition of Nerds in the Hood. Off this. Peace. Fantastic Four.